Hi people. Today in Reddit Wanderers we will see one of the best posts in the subreddit known as AskReddit. Let's start with it. Serious? Some people say you'll learn nothing from video games and that they are a waste of time. So, gamers of Reddit, what are some things you've learned from a video game that you never would have otherwise? I'm Australian, so I know nothing about American history. Assassin's Creed 3 taught me the basics of the revolution, and later I had a conversation with a guy and he thought I was well read. The funny thing about appearing smart is that you just need to speak with confidence and hope no one within earshot specializes in whatever you're saying. You can convince people that the moon is slowly drifting towards Earth and is expected to land in the Pacific Ocean on the 2nd of August, 2043 with this tactic. That's not going to happen though, right? Right. The entire geography of Europe. Edit. The game was Paradox Strategy Games. So do you play CK2 or EU4? Plague Inc. I feel like this is one a lot of multilingual people experience, but one of the reasons I've become so fluent in English is because I didn't know how to change the language games came in. Yep, I knew a Brazilian guy with fantastic English who learned pretty much all of it from Final Fantasy. I am Brazilian. I know a lot about English because of Minecraft and some Nintendo games. I learned English, mostly from in-game chat. I also learned how to call your mom a whore in about 10 languages. Teach me your ways, master. English. Definitely English. I really wanted to be able to play the computer. English is not my native language. And back then, all adventure games were text-based. So I asked my mom to teach me the alphabet. I had an English Pictionary for English. Ended up learning read-write in English before learning it in my native language. Games are the best way to teach your kid another language, English in particular. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Growing up there was a period of time when my parents limited my time using it, which sucked because it was my passion. Now I'm a professional pilot and realize how much it helped me growing up. How much did help with actually learning to fly. It's actually extremely useful for instrument training. IFR training involves practicing for poor weather, usually by wearing blinders, learning to fly exclusively by instruments, learning to read new types of charts, and learning to follow a new set of considerably more complicated procedures. Ms. Flight Sim lets you simulate actual inclement weather instead of wearing blinders, and works well for this kind of procedural stuff. For initial flight training for a private pilot's license, it's not all that useful, since you don't actually get a sense of the airplane, and that's one of the main things you're learning in initial training. How to control myself and how to better deal with the frustration of losing and overcoming it. Teach me your ways. I just get pissed off only after the third smashed keyboard. Will you be ready? I was really hoping to not have to break any keyboards. I mean, there's always the younglings. Anakin. Glass is made from sand. Interesting. I learned the same thing from the Aladdin TV show as a kid. Reading. No joke. It helped me grow very quickly in that field. From MMOs I learned time management and budgeting. Ironically, it's the most time and money consuming type of game. Money consuming because of cash shops. Not too long ago MMOs just consisted of monthly fees. $5 month for RuneScape or $15 month for WoW. Though WoW did require purchasing the base game, so maybe you're right. Copper and tin makes bronze. Wool comes from sheep. Leather from cows. Wolves, bats, apes, and sheep drop unique bones. All other mammals drop the same bones. OSRS knowledge good. I learned that if can teleport around if I make the right combinations of markings on some pebbles and T-pose. Video games taught young me that sometimes the best way to overcome obstacles and solve problems is by letting someone else look at them. Other people's perspectives can sometimes make the solution seem obvious. And sometimes, it's better to set the problem down for a moment and come back to it with fresh eyes. Also, lots of puzzle solving and determination was learned through video games. It also taught me that I'm almost never the first one to encounter a problem. Somewhere out there exists a guide to solving that problem, no matter how unlikely it seems. Civ 2 exposed me to geography. I find it fascinating. Same here. I love that game. I always tried to win by happiness instead of war. I learned cleaning up pollution after nuclear bombs sucks. Dark Souls taught me that you only lose when you give up. And Spec Ops, the line taught me that sometimes stopping is the only way to win. Patience, perseverance, how to play the long game, inventory, budgeting, and I am really good at getting back out of places where it's easy to get lost, like unfamiliar office building or ridiculous parking garages. I am a master of escaping dungeons thanks to video games. From The Sims 4, I learned interior design and torture, mostly torture designer torture. I learned the basics of circuits from trying to make redstone creations in Minecraft. Same here, but I kept designing farms and crazy contraptions. Take a concept, try and do something with it, and then try and make it better somehow. And most of all, things won't ever work the way you want on the first try, no matter how genius your idea is. Also, I now know I want to pursue electrical mechanical engineering, so that's pretty sweet as well. I learned gaming can be very therapeutic for my anxiety. The save it for later concept. You know how sometimes you'll get a really rare one-use weapon, or an extremely expensive health item, and you never use it until the final boss because what if you need it later? And then you finish the game with 85 health potions? It's like that with life. Have a favor you can call in? Save it for when you really need it. Some cash you have hidden away somewhere? Save it for when you have engine trouble. I learned that from video games, and it is very useful. Guess I learned the opposite then. Playing games really brought home the idea of life's too short to save the good stuff for a special occasion. Yeah, I used to do the saving stuff early on, but the more games I play, I found that I didn't even use the best items when I defeat the final boss. It's like I missed out on the best part of the game. So now I just use the items as soon as a semi-appropriate thing comes up. The real life lesson here is, enjoy the good stuff while you still can. If you hit something it can't hit back. Tried it on an NPC. It did not hit back. Tried it on the receptionist. She did. So, Newton's third law. Cause and effect. So kinda. From watching my son play GTA I learned the importance of passive income lol. It makes me realize why no matter how rich you are you'll eventually be broke. No income that isn't working for it. In my opinion rich is the point where you can live off of your passive income while still saving each month. Fun fact, each $300 K you have invested generates about $1 K month in income, almost indefinitely, depending on how frugal you want to be and what kind of lifestyle you live. Find out what your expenses would be and get to saving. Fun fact, video games actually help build up better hand-eye coordination. They're also used by military and pilots as a type of training, because simulations are still video games with mechanics and points. Video games literally help people build up in useful careers and train the brain to be more coordinated. Video games literally help people build up in useful careers and train the brain to be more coordinated. Are you a pilot? A buddy of mine plays DCS a lot. He got to try an F-35 simulator. The Lockheed Martin people said if they were the Danish Air Force that they would hire him and put him through pilot training. Everything not saved will be lost. Nintendo quit screen message. Bro. Deep shit. That's deep. Patience, humility, and curse words. I was camping with my dad once and pointed out coyotes yipping somewhere in the distance one night. He was surprised I even knew what that sounded like. Red Dead Redemption taught me what all kinds of animals sound like in the wild. Yes, and plant identification. Though be warned, it is both illegal and doesn't taste good to catch and eat a salmon when it has turned red. That's when it's spawning and decomposing. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like, comment and subscribe and hit the bell for new daily videos.